Hey man, what's going on? Birds! Shit. Give me a minute. Fuck me. Birds! Alright. Give me a minute. Goddamn. Okay, what's going on? God, I feel fucking terrible. I wanted to stream though. My fucking camera down. Ah, shit. How's everyone doing? Goddamn. Sorry for the coughing. If it gets too bad, I'll shut the stream off. So yeah, what's going on? Cheetah Man from Rich's stream. God, I just took a handful of sleeping pills, some NyQuil, and some Mucinex. So everything's about to get real awesome here in a little bit. Goddamn, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Oh, there's a few YouTube videos I wanted to watch. Nick Crowley put out another darkest videos of the internet that I wanted to take a look at. Talk. Okay, hello? Was I talking? I don't think I was fucking talking. Was I? I don't know. I don't know if you could hear me or not. Anyway. Yeah, so I just fucking shotgunned some NyQuil and took a handful of over-the-counter sleeping stuff, pills, and some Mucinex, so everything's gonna get real fucking weird here in a minute. Give me about 30 minutes and I'm gonna be like staring off into space and shit. Oh god, help me. I would totally much rather have COVID right now. 100 fucking %. Had COVID before. I want that. I don't want the shit that I have right now. Oh god. Okay. Let's see. Where was that? What do we have here? Overwatch $1 million launch. Is that where I don't know. Are y'all there? Can I see? Just people not talking? That's fine. Darkest internet videos. I think it was Nick Crowley. It may have been Nexpo. Shit. Who was it? It's cleaning. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. 6 days ago. That's right when I first got sick. So that makes sense. All right, let's watch this. It's interesting. I'm excited. Damn. Okay. So again, or not again, but to give credit to him, this is Nick Crowley. He has a fucking amazing YouTube channel. I did a bunch of spooky streams and shit watching his stuff. And he just put this up, like I said, 6 days ago. What is up, Carla? How are you doing? Better than me, I hope. I'm going to die very soon if this sickness doesn't get better. Not really, but it's terrible. This is not the Nintendo Direct. So we're going to what is it? Darkest Internet Videos 4 by Nick Crowley. I don't want to just like use his stuff, you know. Who said? Oh, cool. Hey, what's going on? I do remember.
July 29th,
Mm.
2019. Patrons flew into a busy bar in downtown LA for the
Sorry. Yeah, I woke up like not terribly long ago because I've been in bed forever. So it's like I'm gonna get up and try to stream or whatever. I don't know how much I'm gonna stream tonight, but I wanted to do something instead of just lay in bed and fucking be depressed and sick and all that shit, you know? Awesome, welcome back.
start of an always entertaining open mic night. You never know what types of
I'm like
performances you'll
disgusting too.
or what
I need
kind
to
of
like
people will
go
grace the
take a
stage
shower or
with their
something,
presence.
but
And on this particular
whatever.
evening, patrons would
I
bear
don't care.
witness to one of the strangest acts they'd likely ever seen. And it was performed by a man named Robert.
Hairs all. Alright. So what are we doing now? Open mic night?
Robert has a long history here across YouTube, being featured in what seems like countless videos performing skateboarding tricks with a group of friends.
Nah, fuck that. What are those things called? If my sister's here, didn't Herb have one of those? What are they called? Oh, the Kirby game, yeah. What are these things called? I would fucking snap my neck in an instant if I got on one of those. And like, don't you like move your feet back and forth and you like get speed or something? I don't know. I would die. It would be funny though. It would be hilarious. No, they're called something else.
He took to the stage to perform a freestyle rap.
They're ripstick? Is that what they're called? It just has like 2 wheels, I think, and I don't know. It's fucking weird. Okay. Yeah, it's something weird.
The performance was, well, a little shaky to put it nicely, which was at least partially to blame on Robert's apparent drunken state. But a bad night of karaoke in isolation is not...
I want to go to karaoke!
In fact, despite the lethal doses of cringe, many would actually view this as a great time.
Hell yeah!
And even respect Robert for being so willing to go up there and just give it a try.
I've only done karaoke once in my life. It was after... and my sister can attest to this because she had to come and pick me up. It was after I gave the final to my Physics 2 students, and then they were like, hey, we're all gonna meet at wherever the fuck it was. It's like, do you want to go? And it's like, yeah, because they're like technically no longer my students, so it's not a what do you call it, conflict of interest. I got fucking shit-faced and I sang I Got Friends in Low Places. Yeah.
However, his performance wasn't
it's a weird night
yet, and after
fucking weird night
way through the beginning of the song, Robert's lyrics take an unexpected turn.
What? I killed my bitch and buried her in the fucking dirt?
This video shows Robert as he raps the line, I killed my bitch and buried that bitch in the fucking dirt, before muttering that he has to leave because the cops are looking for him. It was a bizarre moment, to say the least, and despite many in the crowd trying to play off the line as a joke, with the MC even saying that it was an Eminem-inspired performance, others in the audience were more visibly concerned. And as it turns out, they had every right to be.
Y'all have heard the recent story of the guy that that put on a live stream that was pre-recorded and then went to go and kill his ex-girlfriend, I think it was in Scotland. This was 4 or 5 days ago. It's very, very recent. That's fucked up. That is incredibly fucked up. Allegedly killed, but I mean, come on. Come on.
Well, we're inside this bar, the King Eddie bar, and this is where Camus was standing when he did this rap version. And I guess the big question is, was it a confession?
Parked out front of the establishment was Robert's gray Prius.
Why
And in
would
the
you
trunk
do
of this
that?
Prius was a shovel,
Ooh.
along with fresh dirt and fresh blood.
Mm-mm.
Blood that belonged to his girlfriend,
Mm.
Amanda Custer.
Damn. She's cute too, and she had like dogs. What the what?
And coincidentally, that very day, Amanda Custer had been reported as missing after a neighbor had witnessed Robert carrying her limp body and placing it in the trunk of his car.
Wow. During the fucking day, to have balls that big to go murder your girlfriend, assuming, and carry her in fucking broad daylight to your trunk.
Driving off, only to emerge hours later, alone at this open mic night.
Wow.
In the moment, a bizarre performance was all this seemed to be. But today, many refer to this rap as being an actual confession, and in the end, this footage would ultimately be used in court and lead to Robert's conviction
What?
for the murder of Amanda Custer, even though to this very day, her body has never been found. But if the words of Robert are
Amanda
to be believed, then
Custer.
it's sadly very likely that she's out there somewhere, buried deep in the dirt.
Ooh.
For now, if you've seen Amanda Custer, police want to hear
It has
from
been
you.
3 days since Amanda Custer's been seen.
Oh, they're never gonna find her. Sorry, I just was looking this up right this second. This happened on September 4th, 2019. And it was around LA, Los Angeles. No fucking way. They're never gonna find her unless he specifically gives that information up. It's not gonna happen. No, that's fucked up. Yay. Oh shit, am I dropping frames again? I think I am. God damn it. Hold on. Let me reconnect real quick. I'm not down. Oh wait, shit, I actually okay. I think we're back. Sorry about that.
But remember, people have to learn how to swim. It's great fun though, and something you can do with
Sinking.
During the summer of 2022 in Karei Yosef, Israel, a popular corporate villa had been rented out by a local marketing agency to host a company event. The location was highly sought after due to its large
pretty.
outdoor pool area, making it the perfect spot for employees to unwind and connect outside of their typical working environment. And on this day, the 21st of July, 50 employees of this company would gather at the party to enjoy the hot summer sun and the cool water of the pool.
Hell yeah.
And by all accounts, the party had been going off without a hitch. Until it happened. As unsuspecting partygoers were hanging in and around the pool, some began to notice that the water level appeared to be receding, with one keen witness pulling out their phone to record the unfolding ordeal. And just as they hit that record button, things would fall into complete chaos.
Uh-oh. What is it, like a sinkhole or some shit? What the fuck? What is happening? What the fuck is that? What the fuck?
Suddenly, a large sinkhole opens up beneath
What?
the pool, in turn creating a massive vortex and an impossibly strong current,
Holy
dragging essentially
shit.
everything in its path down towards the opening. And within mere seconds, the pool, once completely filled with water, had become completely barren. with
That's
even the pool
fucking
pipes disappearing
crazy.
beneath the surface of the earth. Luckily, at the time there were only about 6 partygoers in the pool, and 3 of them had
Fuck
immediately made their way
that.
to safety. But one man could be seen standing dangerously close to the newly formed crater, even slipping and falling to the ground just inches away from
Dude,
being
oh
thrown
my
into its
God.
opening.
That's fucked up.
Thankfully, he too had managed to make his way to safety, but the 2 others weren't so lucky, as in the moments immediately before this video began, they had been sucked into the depths of the sinkhole.
Wow.
Of the
Holy
2, one
shit.
would be able to quickly pull his way to safety, while the other was nowhere to be found. As rescuers made their way to the scene and attempted to enter the hole, it was discovered that it was far deeper than anyone could have imagined, with later reports showing that the pit was a staggering 43 feet deep.
Holy
with the entire
shit.
opening being filled with water. And the missing swimmer, 32-year-old Khalil Kimhi, was trapped at the very bottom. It would take 4 grueling hours of navigating that claustrophobic grave to finally reach Khalil, who by that point was sadly long gone, having likely already perished by the time rescuers even reached the scene.
4
Passing away in what
hours?
must have
Is
been
that what
one
they
of the
said?
most horrifying ways imaginable.
Holy
After all was said and
shit.
done, it was revealed that the owner of the villa had built the pool in an unsafe location, and had done so without a permit, leading to charges of negligent manslaughter. And though this event was no doubt a tragedy, it's easy to see just how much worse this could have been if more people had been in
Wow,
that pool
yeah,
at the
that-
time.
Fuck.
And what truly haunts me the most about this clip is just how unexpected it was. 1 minute you're enjoying a beautiful swimming pool, and the next, you're trapped 40 feet beneath the earth,
You never know.
drowning with no chance of survival. All because of a freak phenomenon that is entirely unpredictable.
Damn.
Snow is mechanically pressed 1,800 pounds
Holy
per square
crap.
inch and emerges in 50-pound blocks of dry ice. When placed in liquid, it returns to its original gaseous state.
Smoke
And
on the
ice
water.
is really
I think I know what this one's gonna be.
From one pool party to another, this next clip takes us to Moscow, Russia in February of 2020.
Oh, maybe not.
Where an influencer
Never mind.
named Ekaterina Didenko was
Damn.
preparing to celebrate her 29th birthday.
She cute.
Just a few years prior, Ekaterina had graduated from medical school, earning her the title of pharmacist. But rather than going the traditional route and pursuing a career in pharmacy, she instead chose to use her expertise to start a blog focused on creating homemade medicines in order to save her viewers
Maybe
trips to
don't
the
do that.
pharmacy. This type of content is nothing new, and in most cases it's highly controversial, and Ekaterina was
Yeah.
no exception to this, with many calling her practices and advice potentially dangerous. This, however,
Maybe,
did not stop
I
her
don't-
from amassing a
I
following
don't know.
of over 1 million people, which was spread
Yeah.
out across her Instagram page along with other platforms.
I bet I know why they're
And despite
following
her
her.
content being controversial in nature, she quickly carved out a legitimate career as an influencer by 2020. And with her birthday approaching on the 28th of February, she wanted to throw the perfect party to show off to all of her followers. Helping plan the night
She was,
Katerina's
29?
husband, Valentin Didenko, who was on board to make the evening as grand as possible. And Valentin had the perfect plan, something he called a steam show. Previously, the couple had booked a venue to accommodate all their guests, with one of the most appealing amenities being its swimming pool, and using his limited knowledge of science,
I
along with inspiration from
enjoy
a somewhat
swimming.
viral trend at the time, Valentin thought of a way to turn that ordinary pool room into something
They
extraordinary.
put dry
by
ice in
using
there.
dry ice
Don't
to fill
do
the
that.
entire room with steam, as dry ice
You
combined
fucked up.
with water creates an immediate dense fog, in turn creating his steam show. And so, as the party was going on
Oh,
and guests were
you
having
fucked
a great
up there.
time, Valentin decided to reveal the main event, and brought all the partygoers into the room, giving them gowns and goggles to wear, before dumping a box full of dry ice into the water.
Oh my God, Val! Water, you're crazy!
Материал только что обновленный. И в газообразное состояние.
Dry ice is... What? How cold is dry ice? I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say like negative 120, but... Yeah, it's very, very cold.
Instantly, the pool disappears within a cloud of gas, creating the incredible show that both Ekaterina and Valentin had dreamed of. With
Oh, 109, negative 109. I was going to say negative 120.
Katerina herself pulling out her phone to record the moment.
I was close.
And quickly, it became apparent that the pool wasn't just for show, as Valentin himself suddenly dives into the mist, disappearing within its hidden water.
What? Did he do it on purpose? I guess?
But there was just one problem. The chemical reaction that happens when dry ice and water connects doesn't just cause the formation of mist. It causes the formation of carbon dioxide that is produced in such a highly concentrated form that it appears as fog. meaning that the cloud we are seeing here
That's
is
what
made
dry ice is.
entirely of straight CO2,
Yep.
which in such high concentration is toxic to humans, with it causing shortness of breath and eventual asphyxiation. And though Ekaterina's recording shows the group having the
100%.
time of their lives, no one realized that when that dry ice was placed in the pool, it had in turn placed all of their lives in danger. Making matters worse, Valentine wanted the show to be as long-lasting as possible,
Oh,
and
I
in
bet it will
turn
be.
ordered the doors to be closed in order to keep
Wow.
that fog inside the small room, meaning that
Wow.
there was very little ventilation to filter out this toxic gas, making the levels of CO2 not just very dangerous, but incredibly deadly. And
Yep.
Valentine had just dove directly into its heart.
Something similar happened in
He would break the
Africa,
surface just one time after this,
but it was a
and although
natural
the crowd
occurrence.
cheers him on, believing he's just splashing around and having some fun. At this moment, his lungs were filling with fluid, and
Yeah.
he was suffocating to death, as below the water he was drowning, and on its surface he was suffocating. He was trapped, with the only outcome being death.
God,
Ekaterina
can
then
you
turns
imagine?
the camera on herself, revealing another man entering the water, as she's laughing and yelling in amusement. And behind her, all of her friends are seen recording the ordeal, oblivious to the fact that
So I don't know if anyone knows this or not, but whenever you hold your breath, and you have to take a breath, it's not because you're running out of oxygen. It's that your body is making and holding CO2. And that abundance of CO2 is what makes you want to breathe out and then breathe back in. It's not because you don't have the oxygen to do it. It's just that you have too much CO2. It's a pretty important distinction.
Valentine was now dying at the bottom of the pool. They were far too distracted trying to get the perfect shot for their own social media pages. In the end, it truly was the spectacle that Valentine and
That's fucked
Ekaterina
up.
had dreamed of.
Yeah.
Shortly after the recording had
Night to
ended,
remember, right?
moviegoers would finally realize that something was terribly wrong, as some began to experience shortness of breath that eventually caused them to pass out. Meanwhile, others began to feel sharp pains throughout their body that were
Yeah.
eventually learned to be the result of chemical burns. Once the room was finally evacuated, 3 partygoers would be unaccounted for, as
Damn.
Natalia Manakova, Yuri Elfarov, and Valentine were left in the foggy room, dead.
Like, these people are 30 years old. They should know this. Sorry, but like you this is something that you learn like in 9th grade, chemistry.
At the bottom of the pool. What should have been the perfect day for Ekaterina had instead
Nope.
ended with her becoming a widow. And as
Oh,
off-putting as
God,
this video
that's
is,
awful.
many would point to Ekaterina's behavior following the incident as even more unusual. Immediately after the incident occurred, Ekaterina would start her grieving process by posting this video for the world to see, and subsequently vlogging her experience at the hospital and documenting the death of her husband.
Damn. I'm alive. Don't know who died. Yeah, that's got to be awful. It's devastating.
It was admittedly a bit bizarre, as many accused her of exploiting the death of her husband to gain internet followers.
Sure.
With further questions being posed as to why she hadn't considered the deadly effects of dry ice and water.
Thank you.
As after
Thank
all,
you.
she was an expert in the field of science. The
Yeah,
scrutiny
shit,
towards
yeah.
Ekaterina
That's
became so intense at
crazy
that
enough.
point that Russian authorities launched an investigation into her actions, claiming that it may be possible to charge her for causing death by negligence. Though to my knowledge, nothing ever came of this.
Wow.
Just 5 whole months after the incident, Ekaterina would remarry, with those initial posts documenting the death of her first husband,
That's a
leading to her gaining
really
an additional
quick turnaround
500,000
time.
followers.
God damn.
Deep inside this vertical city,
That's a very quick turnaround time.
A machine with a terrible secret.
Taiwanese elevator video. I think I've seen this before.
It was a quiet
I've seen a lot of
January
fucked up
night
shit
in
on the
the
internet,
Yuan
though.
Finance and Economics Building, located in western Taiwan. The 16th-floor tower held its fair share of both office spaces and residences, though as the clock reached past midnight, only the building manager would be awake in its lobby. As he settled in for another uneventful night, the silence was suddenly broken by a woman rushing in with a small child. The man didn't recognize her as a resident, and given that the offices were closed for the night, he stopped her and questioned why she was there. The woman, however, brushed him off in a hurry, stating that they were only there to meet a friend.
It was a corporate office building. At night, nobody's there except this woman.
Before entering the elevator and disappearing out of view.
With her child?
According to the man, he felt a bad omen in the air after the encounter, and only grew more concerned as the morning
that shit
arrived,
don't set
the
right.
woman had yet to come down and exit the building. So out of curiosity, the manager turned to the building's CCTV footage to determine where the two had gone, only to see this.
Wait, what the fuck happened? Hold on.
Building. So out of curiosity, the manager turned to the building's CCTV footage to determine where the two had gone, only to see this.
A little kid. Right. What?
Inside the elevator, the woman begins hitting the button to floor 11 in what seems to be a panic, and as the doors close behind her and her child, she then removes her coat and places it on the ground, before doing the same with her kid. When the elevator then reaches their desired floor, she quietly slips off her shoes and exits in a hurry. It's unusual footage, as their behavior just seems slightly off, and it's made all the more disturbing due to what they could or couldn't see on the cameras after that. Upon exiting the elevator, the pair are seen walking down the hallway on floor 11 in this grainy footage recaptured by the man's cell phone, with the two heading in the general direction of the stairwell, which also happened to be the sole entrance to the roof. And from the two aren't seen again. Noting this, the manager
was in Taiwan?
fearing the worst, as their bizarre behavior coupled with the route seemingly leading to the roof could only mean one thing. And quickly, the police were called for what they believed to be a cleanup job, figuring that the two had jumped off the roof. This belief was further fueled by the woman's actions in the elevator, as removing one shoe prior to is apparently a somewhat common thing in Asian countries, as they don't want to track dirt.
Internet, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it.
However, once officers arrived on scene and searched the entire perimeter of the building,
there was
no sign of the mother and daughter, not even a single trace of blood, meaning they couldn't possibly have jumped. Police would then look through the entirety of the footage and review the positioning of the cameras, only to determine that virtually all exits were covered by the watchful eyes of their CCTV. If these two had left the building, they would surely have the footage to prove it.
Where did they go?
While sifting through the entire night, this moment was the last they'd ever be seen on camera. So if they hadn't jumped, and if they hadn't left, then they must be somewhere in the building, they thought, which led to a full-scale search of the complex, with officers going door to door searching every nook and cranny. However, while asking around, not a single resident had seen the pair that night, or even heard them for that matter. And when their initial sweep was concluded, the police...
I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say that they, like, are in the elevator shaft somehow. That's what I'm going to guess.
Police would be left empty-handed, only uncovering just a few set of clues. For starters, they would find the clothes and shoes left behind on the elevator, and they would also find the woman's moped, which she had driven to the building. And finally, they would find a single suitcase, found vacant on the top steps leading to the roof. Police would go on to describe this piece of luggage as suspicious, but never reveal its true contents. In fact, following an initial report, they would never give confirmation as to whether it was involved in this case or not. Either way, it led them to a dead end, as they believed these two could not have possibly left that building, though at the same time, they clearly weren't there. Multiple times after this, the building would be searched and searched and searched again, even as recently as 2013, when they would go as far as to check the water pipes and even the water tank itself, which
People
was
have.
inspired by an unfolding
Yep.
case of a similar nature
Yep.
halfway across the world. But
I
no
know.
trace of the
I know
pair was
exactly
ever
what he's talking
discovered.
about.
Immediately after this footage was taken, these two vanished into thin air. Following the disappearance, local news would broadcast the footage where a man named Zhang would come forward stating that this was his wife and 4-year-old daughter. The woman's surname was Leo, and the pair had 4 children together, though their relationship was anything but perfect. Multiple reports claim that on that very night, the two had gotten into an argument, with some going as far as to say that Zhang had actually abused her, causing her to leave the home in a hurry, grabbing only their youngest daughter.
Right, as you do.
Meanwhile, their eldest daughter would go on record stating that Leo had told her that they were going to visit a friend's house just for a few days, only to never return. Despite the significance of discovering the identity of
What's
this
the
woman
punch?
and her daughter, it would ultimately fail to help solve the case, as there have been no sightings of these two since this moment, turning this into one of Taiwan's most mysterious cases of all time. And in the region, 3 major theories have emerged. First, many locals in the area believe that something otherworldly happened to these two, with one resident at the time stating, "I think they entered another time and space." This belief is actually so strong
They went to the
that
back
even as of
room.
just a few years ago,
That's what it
that
is.
11th floor is practically left vacant, as the only remaining family on that floor claims that everyone moved out of fear of the supernatural.
They no-clipped into the
incident.
back room.
Another long-lasting theory was that the two were still somewhere in the building, having potentially taken their lives or just gotten stuck there. And officials believed this for years after the case, assuming that
Damn.
eventually someone would happen upon them. Though that day has never come, and due to the extreme summer heat in the region, it's likely that the smell alone would have led to their discovery by now. Which brings us to our third theory, that somehow the two had actually managed to leave the building without detection. Due to the camera positioning in the hotel, this seems rather unlikely, but some claim that there is a specific route that potentially could have provided just enough cover for them to avoid all the cameras. But this would have had to have been precise and seemingly deliberate. What makes this so strange, though, is that Leo apparently had limited to no knowledge of this building beforehand, begging the question how she could navigate in such an efficient manner, or why she would want to for that matter. And this is far from the only questions.
Why would they have taken
why
their
would she even enter this building to begin
her
with if she was
clothes
just going
off?
to leave? And why go to that 11th floor in particular and remove those articles of clothing?
Yes.
And maybe most importantly of all,
100%.
if she had somehow snuck around those cameras, how had she or her child never been seen again? Nothing about this case makes any sense, and honestly, what happened to these two at this point is anyone's guess, as this is practically all the information available
Holy
on
shit.
their disappearance.
That's insane.
Since then, there have been no sightings, no use of their health insurance, no use of their bank accounts, and their daughter's records show that she has never been enrolled to another school. It's almost as if they evaporated into that cold night air.
What the
Part of me
fuck?
hopes that this was all an attempt to flee an abusive relationship, and that somehow this was all just a distraction for these two to escape and start a new life elsewhere, which could explain that supposed friend they were going to meet, why they shed their coats, and how they managed to sneak out of there in the first place. But things of that nature are easier said than done, and I can't help but get a sinking feeling that they are no longer with us, as surely at
That's
some
so
point,
fucking
some
weird.
trace of them would have appeared by now. But unfortunately, an absolute conclusion is something that perhaps we may never get, and instead, we're simply left with this chilling video, which is undoubtedly one of YouTube's darkest.
That's insane. What could have happened to them? I'm trying to think. Yeah, like I'm gonna figure it out here at fucking midnight in Texas.
The celebration was well underway. December 5th, 2009 marked the 8-year anniversary of the beloved Lame Horse, a roughly 5,000 square foot nightclub located in Durham, Russia. On the
Not a
evening of
good
the
time
4th,
for
the club
for
began
having
to
one.
fill with partygoers keen on joining in on the massive party. To commemorate the night, a cameraman and an interviewer would be on scene to document the events of that evening, which they did by first speaking to patrons as they roamed the club, getting their thoughts and opinions on the celebration.
What? I would love to speak Russian. Very difficult. language,
The
though.
night all seemed to be in good fun, and it was only just beginning for most, with the party set to go all throughout the night. And as the recording continues, it's clear that the club had big plans to bring
Is it
in
Russian?
this new year.
I don't know. I just assumed
Following
that.
the interviews, the footage shows us a view of the dance floor, which was occupied by a group of performers who had been hired to energize the crowd and further build the hype of the night. The organizers had even hired an MC for the evening, whose job was to keep the party alive.
Raise the roof.
By this point, over 300 people had made their way into the building, as the MC continues the show by joking around with two young women, who were clearly guests of the bar, with the cameraman fixing his lens on the three as the crowd watches on in amusement.
What? The floor gonna collapse or something?
But it's at this exact moment that the camera unintentionally catches something far more interesting. Something that could easily be missed, as it seemed so unimportant in the moment. While everyone's eyes are fixed forward at the show before them, this woman, standing on the far right of the camera, barely occupying a sliver of the frame, casually turns her head, only for her eyes to lock onto something behind her, and noticing the woman's bizarre reaction, the cameraman follows her lead and turns the camera in the same direction, revealing this.
What? What is it? There she goes. There she goes. Turn around. Oh, fuck.
Unbeknownst to pretty much everyone in the club at that
Fucked
time,
up.
a spark from the show's pyrotechnics had made contact with the club's ceiling,
Oh,
which was covered in decorative
shit.
twigs for the party, and within a split second, a fire would erupt.
It's game
The
over.
initial shock caused many to freeze in place for precious seconds, unable to
Nope.
comprehend what exactly was happening. And it wasn't until
Get the
the
fuck
MC,
out!
the same one in charge of keeping that party alive, began to shout, "Ladies and gentlemen, guests of the club, we are on fire, please leave the hall," that
Yeah,
the patrons
okay.
would finally unfreeze.
Fair. That's fair. Wow. Oh, shit.
Following this announcement, the crowd flew into a panic, desperately making their way to the exit, which is where the first fatal issue arose. The club supposedly had two exits, one through the front door and the other located behind the stage. However, that second exit had no signs indicating where it was, meaning that practically no one in the room knew that it was even there. Because of this, most of the patrons
Holy
began
crap.
pushing towards that one main exit. Upon making his way into the hallway, the cameraman reveals the exit and, in turn, another devastating issue. In order to control the crowd going into the venue earlier that night, one of the two doors at the front entrance was locked, meaning that this small opening was the only means of escape for the 300 plus people trapped
God
inside.
damn.
And to make matters worse, by this point, the entire venue was now shrouded in smoke.
Holy shit. I bet not many people made it out.
As so many people were attempting to fit through that small exit, they became stuck, causing a logjam and in turn, a human crush. And the more people desperately tried to push through that door, the more jammed it became. Meanwhile, those still trapped on the dance floor were left hopelessly lost in that impenetrable
God damn,
And
can
with
you
the mob of
imagine?
people rushing towards that exit,
Holy
the
shit.
camera suddenly goes dark before shutting off completely.
That is fucking horrifying. You can still hear though. Wait, what is this?
Somehow, the cameraman, along with multiple others, were able to squeeze their way out of the exit, as evident when the camera begins to record sometime later, this time in the middle of the road, revealing hints of the havoc that was occurring both inside and outside of the club. But
That's
tragically,
so
this is
fucked
where
up.
one last fatal factor was added to the equation, which was highlighted by a quote from a survivor and one of the very first people to escape the club. After I got out, there were no firemen or emergency services for about 20 minutes.
Holy
Nobody at all.
shit.
There were only 2 ambulances altogether. They managed to take 6 or 7 men and left. No more ambulance cars arrived. At least I saw none. Firemen
Wow.
had pulled out a number of people by then.
That's...
Half clothed, they were simply laid out on the cold asphalt. Nobody cared for them. People were lying on the ground for about an hour and a half. Definitely for no less than an hour. It could be that many of them died because of this, because of the cold.
Ooh, that would be
16
awful
degrees
too.
below
God
zero.
damn, 16, negative
Since been
16?
heavily criticized, and rightfully so, the emergency
Celsius?
response team only fueled the intensity of this disaster, as many of those trapped inside were left to their own devices.
Fuck.
Those who were rescued were laid out on the street with severe injuries, and most of their clothes burned off, forced to lie there unable to move for over an hour in the freezing cold. It's unknown how many deaths were caused by this alone, but if these first-hand accounts are to be believed, it's likely that many were. Not only had the venue itself failed these
fucked
victims,
around.
but the emergency response team had as well.
There's been a lot of stories like this where the pyrotechnics catch on fire. Way too many to be comfortable to have pyrotechnics anywhere near me, especially if you're on like an upper level. I don't know if they were or not, but fuck that. Like, and it looked to be, the ceiling wasn't even really that high, so I don't know.
Ultimately, 101 people would die on the scene
God
that
damn.
day, and an additional
That's a
55
lot.
perished later in the hospital, with the catastrophe
Shit.
amassing a death toll of 156 total people, making it the deadliest fire in Russia since the fall of the Soviet Union.
Holy
The
shit.
footage from that night, taken before, during, and after the event, truly account for some of the most disturbing on this site. But 2 moments in particular have always stuck in my mind, the first being that initial stunned reaction from the lady just off screen, as she had noticed what was transpiring before anyone else, and the other being
That's
that
real,
first
like,
reveal
eerie,
of the small
you know?
fire on the ceiling that would so quickly and so savagely engulf the entire building and claim the lives of so many.
I'm curious kind of what their ceiling structure is made of.
I wanted to briefly mention that I have brand new Patreon tiers, and now for just $3 a
Oh,
month,
God.
you can view my content early,
It's
along
about
with some other
45
cool
minutes.
exclusive benefits.
Shit.
And for possibly the last time, I want to thank my gold tier and god tier patrons: Alexander Duran, America's Grumpy Uncle, Biznacker, Bray, Karen S., Charles Roble, Deadly Pants, Donovan Aaron, Game Gamer, Ivo the Evil,
Okay.
Jake Parsons,
Anyway.
JB Funk, Catherine Ross.
Let's see. I'm gonna just throw this up on the internet and then get off, because I'm probably gonna fall asleep here in a little bit or something. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'll try to be back tomorrow, maybe, if more people are here. And thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this. This was some kind of really messed up shit. So I will talk to y'all later.